That heavy, right there, he's at full health, you see? He just ate a sandwich. Now he's gonna spin up with his Natasha, and I'm gonna fully charge my sniper rifle and body shot him. How much is it gonna do? It's gonna do 150, right? You're wrong, it's gonna do 120. But in the Meet Your Match update, they made it so the Natasha and the Brass Beast's 20% damage resistance only works when you're at below 50% health. So how did this Natasha heavy take resisted damage when he was at full health? I noticed that quickscope headshots did less damage to heavies with those weapons, seemingly regardless of the amount of health they were at. And as I was looking into it, I found a video by SigSegV, or SigSegV, that I know I've seen before, but I never actually bothered to read the description. So I want to give all the credit to the explanation for this to him. Basically, any hit while spun up that would normally bring the heavy down to or below 150 health will be resisted. Let me give another example. Demoman's grenades have a base damage of 100, and this is another full health heavy. I hit him with a grenade, he takes 100 damage, and now his health is at 200. The next grenade that hits him would theoretically bring him down to 100 health. So that means, as you can see, the 20% resistance kicks in and he takes 80 instead of 100, bringing him down to 120 health. The stats description says minus 20% damage resistance when below 50% health and spun up, when really it's more like minus 20% damage taken by hits that would result in you being at or below 50% health while spun up. This means that stat is at least a little bit better than it seems. That fully charged body shot would result in Heavy being at exactly half health, so he still resisted. And this does appear to be intentional, which is pretty strange. But the plot thickens. A fully charged body shot and a quickscope headshot deal the same amount of damage, right? Both deal 150. So why is this quickscope headshot doing 140 when the body shot only did 120? Because, for some reason, the resistance on the Natasha and the Brass Beast does not work against critical damage. The body shot is 150 bullet damage, which gets brought down to 120. The quickscope headshot is 50 bullet damage plus 100 critical damage. The resistance brings the bullet damage down to 40 and doesn't change the critical damage, making the total 140. So basically this whole stat is way more complicated than it ever needed to be. But I guess it is better than the description would lead you to believe, so there's that. Now to satisfy my curiosity on something. The gas passer can let you ignite the normally not ignitable pyro, but does it work on other afterburn immunities like the Darwin's Danger Shield and the Spy-cicle? No. I didn't really expect it to, though it kinda seems like maybe it should. But no, it just works on pyro. Oh well. In the last one of these, someone asked if the new short circuit projectile could destroy lasers like the Righteous Bison's. I suspected no. And yeah, the short circuit cannot destroy lasers. Basically, projectiles that can't be reflected by air blast can also not be destroyed. Mainly just lasers and syringes from the syringe gun. Though the syringe from the Crusader's crossbow can be destroyed. I think you could probably change the cannot be deflected stat that's on the Righteous Bison and the Pomson to like projectile cannot be reflected or destroyed. And maybe if the stock syringe gun were to get some buffs, which it really kind of needs, you could possibly justify making the projectile reflectable. Thinking back, it is kind of strange that syringes were the only projectile not to be reflectable when Air Blast came out, but eh. You ever notice that loading screen tip that says, as a spy, reloading your revolver will mimic the reload action of the weapon carried by your current disguise? I mean, you probably have. And as I was thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen a spy actually do that in-game, and I don't think I've ever done it myself in-game. Especially since I think most people probably have auto-reload on, and because the revolver reloads all of its shots at once, you could really only fake one reload. So it's really not all that useful. But I just wanted to see what it looked like. I mean, it works. The animations do appear to end a bit more abruptly, and it does still make the revolver reload noise, so if a spy does do this in-game, the noise could potentially give them away if you do manage to hear it. Also, when disguised as a sniper, the fake reload on the sniper rifle just kind of makes the sniper's hand move back and forth. My guess would be that the difference in reload times makes the whole thing kind of wonky. And speaking of reloads, the Pomson has a third-person reload animation. It didn't for almost 6 years, but they added it in Jungle Inferno. And I noticed that pretty soon afterwards, but I haven't really seen anybody mention it. I guess because the Pomson isn't really all that common to see anymore. But it just uses the shotgun reload animation. It obviously doesn't match up properly with the Pomson, but it's still way better than not seeing any indication of reloading at all, so yeah. I just thought I'd point that out, if maybe you didn't notice. And recently, they fixed what was apparently a bug that allowed medics to gain Ubercharge at the normal rate when healing full health Razorback snipers. As you probably know, Miniguns gain Uber slower on heal targets with full or close to full overheal, and the Razorback prevents any overheal at all. But the Fists of Steel also have an overheal penalty when they're active, and I wanted to see if that penalty would affect a medic's Ubercharge rate. And it appears that the minus 40% overheal penalty on the Fist of Steel does prevent miniguns from reaching the point where the Ubercharge rate gets cut. So the Fist of Steel can actually be potentially pretty helpful for gaining Uber, even if it probably shouldn't be. So, yeah. And that's it for TF2 Extras number 4. So, the ancient tablet laptop that I normally use to make my thumbnails finally kicked the bucket, and I did get a new one, but while I'm getting used to that and setting it up, I thought I'd make another TF2 Extras to kind of fill the time. But there's gonna be a new series, I'm thinking, coming out soon-ish. That'll be done, eventually. Okay, bye!